I remember sitting in church as a boy and hearing my pastor say, "This building is not the church. We are the church." And then I'd also hear them say, the church doesn't exist just when we gather together in this building on Sunday morning. Well, we've been getting plenty of opportunity, haven't we, to walk out those truths. I'm sure you've heard this, but we have to go back more than 100 years to find another time when church buildings and much of the rest of the country were closed because of a virus or a pandemic. Now, I'm taking a guess here, but I'm thinking you probably have no personal memory of that. You know what? Even I don't remember that. Although I do remember hearing about my grandfather who had immigrated to this country not long before that, how he almost died because of that flu pandemic. Well, this stay-at-home life is new to all of us. And I really think most Americans have been stuck in their homes so long now, I'm hearing that even some introverts are missing getting together with other people. Well, we do miss gathering together in our church worship service with the people that we love. Good morning. Hey, it's good to see you. How you doing? Hey, is your dad feeling any better? Oh, good. That's great news. You know what? I think that must be one of the cutest babies I have ever seen. Looks like mom and baby are doing fine, huh? Congratulations. We're really happy for you guys. Won't it be great to connect in person again? And we will. But in the meantime, I have been so thrilled to see how churches are adapting to our current environment, from online services and other kinds of online meetings with people, to food distribution and food pantries, and the preparation of meals, to the making of face masks, and just so many other ways. I have seen so much creativity and innovation. And you know what? Here's what's happening. Churches are discovering doors to expanded ministry that we might not have even seen before without the limitations of this pandemic. It's really exciting. And I salute your pastor, your church, for adapting in this way. You are taking the love of Jesus far beyond the walls of the church building. And this adaptiveness reminds me of what Joseph said to his brothers. You remember how they sold him into slavery and later discovered that God had taken Joseph from the pit to the palace, and they were afraid. But Joseph said to them, "Hey guys, you meant it for harm, but God meant it for good." God works redemptively through every situation, and He's at work right now during this pandemic. And He also wants everything surrounding us in this pandemic to shake us out of our normal sense of security. I do really believe that. To remind us that Christ's return is imminent and that we must be ready, having dedicated our lives and our hearts to Him. Let me offer you a couple words of encouragement. First of all, I encourage you to maintain peace in your heart. When it feels like we've lost control of our lives, that is when we need to remember that our trust is in the Lord. Remember that Jesus said, "In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." And then He also gave us that powerful promise when He said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you." Now, we don't know how long it will take, but we are going to beat this virus. While we're getting there, keep your heart anchored in the peace of Jesus. And second, and I know you're doing this, but continue to pray for all the people who've been hit hard by this pandemic. People who've caught the virus, including the families who have lost loved ones. Those valiant healthcare workers who are risking their own health and lives. They are really the heroes in all of this. For the people who've lost their jobs, and that's been devastating to many. And for our governmental leaders. Maybe instead of just criticizing them, we ought to just pray for them and see how that works, huh? And here's another one to add to your prayer list. This pandemic was really like a major league curveball for your pastor. He's thinking things like, well, how do we keep our congregation connected? How do we minister to them? How can our church make use of this unique time to minister to our community? And then there's the other one. How do we make ends meet? So thank you for keeping your pastors and church leaders in prayer. And speaking of thanks, thank you for remaining faithful in supporting your church with your giving. Now, if you've not lost your job, rejoice. And your giving is all the more important then, because there are other people who are not currently able to give as they have previously. Now, you're not going to see an offering bucket or offering plate come by where you can put your offering in and give to it, but you can give online. You can give through the mail, and where allowable, you can even personally deliver your tithes and offerings to the church. The good news is this: your church is carrying on, but so do its many financial obligations, just like your family. That includes support for missionaries around the globe who look to us as their primary lifeline of support. So thanks again for your faithful, perhaps even sacrificial, generosity in support of your church and its ministries. Finally, let me remind you about those great verses of encouragement in Philippians chapter 4. We read this: "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." What a powerful promise. Keep your heart filled with gratefulness. We're going to get to the other side.